وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Welcome back to the brothers and sisters. I welcome you all to Madina Book 3. Inshallah, I'll be doing class 43 today. So today, inshallah, I'll be doing concept of lesson number 13. A very important and very interesting lesson, inshallah. So what do we learn in this lesson? So here we'll be learning how to give command. So giving command is the main theme of this lesson. So we know command, we call it as an amr. But we already know, we have learned in book 1 and book 2 how to give amr. What we have learned so far is to give amr in the second person, when the person is in front of us, male or female, to a group of female. So we know how to give amr to them, where the fa'al changes its whole structure. So without going too much into details, I'm just going to give some example. For example, kataba yaktubu. If you want to say a male in front of you, anta, so you say uktub. So two males, so uktuba, and all the men, if you say uktubu. If it is feminine, we say uktubi. So you're giving command to write, and uktuba and uktubna for all the females. So inshallah, what we're going to learn today is how to give command in third person. So when the person is not in front of you, but you still want to give an order for them to do things, and also how to give command in mutakallim, ana nahnu. So give command to myself or to ourselves. So how do we give amr? So that is the main theme, to how to give command to third person and in first person. So in the very interesting thing in giving command in this is that we do not change the whole structure of fa'al. So instead of, we do make some changes, but there is another particle which we bring, which will tell us that this is a command to the third person. So what do we bring here? So to give command in third person and first person, we bring li, lam maksurun, lam with kasra. So this lam with kasra followed by a fa'al mudariya, and it will be majzoom. It will be majzoom, will tell us that this is a command to do the act, to do the fa'al. So let's take some example. So this li is called lamu amr, and what it does is it makes the mudari'a majzoom. So we know there are certain particles which we have learned which makes fa'al mudari'a majzoom. We have been practicing about this. These are called jawazim al-mudari'a. So what the job of there is to make fa'al mudari'a majzoom, and we've known from book 2 that these are in, lam, lamma, wal, falli. So we have been practicing this in, lam, lamma, wal, falli for quite a long time. So inshallah we're going to learn about everything today about these particles. We've already done about lam, which is harfu jasmin, wa nafin, wa qalbin, and lamma, which is also similar to lam in its characteristics. So we're going to take away lam and lamma, and what we're going to concentrate is on in and wal, falli. So what is this wal, fal, li we've been talking about? So this is nothing but lamu amr. So where we have these characteristics, wal, fal, li, and coming a fa'al mudari'a with a majzoom. Let's give you some example. So if you want to say a third person who is not in front of us, that he should write. So if you take the same example like kataba yaktubu, uktub, but you want to say that he should write. So how do we give command to that? So we say, we bring li and we make fa'al mudari'a majzoom. So it will be li yaktub. Li yaktub. So we just change the ending into a jazm. So if you want to say that they should write, all those men, they should write. So how do we make? So you know, yaktub, So if you go to fi'l mudari', yaktubu, yaktubani, yaktubuna. So how do we make majzoom? Bihazafi noon. So we will say li yaktubu, li yaktubu, and this alif alif will be qaya. And if you want to say she should write, how do we say taktubu? Normally it will be taktubu. If you want to make majzoom, so we'll say taktub. So it will be li taktub. She should write. If you want to say they, the females, all those females should write. So taktubu, taktubani, and hunna yaktubna. It's yaktubna. So if you want to, and yaktubna is mabni, so it doesn't change. So it will be li yaktubna. So if you want to say I should write, so in first person, you say li aktub, li aktub. And if you want to say we should write, we say li naktub. So this is what is called lam amr. So we know lam performs different functions in a different part of the sentence. So we need to be clear in our mind. So we know li, we have seen that it also make fa'al mudari' mansoob, but that's called lam ta'lil, where it is unmudmara. So how do we differentiate? So one of the ways is that lam ta'lil, which is again li, but it have a fa'al mudari' mansoob. Sometimes it's very difficult if there are no vowel signs to say whether it is mansoob or majzoom. Is that fa'al lam ta'lil comes in the middle of a sentence, like kharajtu min al-fasli li ashrab ash-shaya. So I went out of class to what? To drink water. So it comes in the middle. So if you want to say I should drink kahwa, says it li ashrab ash-shaya. So I should drink tea. So it comes in the first, whereas lam ta'lil. So there's a certain changes you need to keep in mind, that what function this li is performing in a sentence. So giving command is your lam mu'amar, and it comes in the beginning, and it has lamu maksura, which is lam with kasra. So now, okay, we'll do dual as well. They both should write, it will be li yaktuba, yaktubani will be yaktuba. So now when we have these third person and first person fa'al, and with the lamu amr, so there is a very interesting change happens when we get a harf atf. So what is a harf atf? We know there are three harf atfs. One is waw, fa, and summa. So when one of these harf atf, any one of these, comes in front of this lamu amr, what happens to lam maksura? So lam with kasra, this lam with kasra, it changes into lam with jazm. Lam with jazm. That means the vowel sign is taken away. So what happens then? This li yaktub and li taktubu and everything will change into wal yaktub. So lam, now it gets a sukun. It's not wali yaktub. So the kasra is taken away and it changed into a sukun. So it is wal yaktub, wal yaktubu, wal taktub. And if fa comes, it will be fal taktubna, fal aktub. And if it is summa, it will be summal aktuba, summal naktub. So whenever there is harf atf, this lam amr, it changes into sukun. It's still the same meaning. There's no change in the meaning. It still means the same, that he should write, or they should write, she should write. But it's just that the lam is changed into sukun. So that gives us an explanation of wal falli is basically they all relate to lamu amr. So just give some examples. Liyaktub kullu talibin ismuhu fi hadhihi waraqati. So liyaktub means, again say this li is lamu amr, and yaktub is that is the fa'al mudari' majzoom, that he should write, but we are looking for the fa'il. So what is the fa'il here? Kullu. We know kullu always comes with a mudaf, and here talibin. So each one of the student should write what he should write. Isma, that is your maf'ulun bihi mansub, and wa huwa mudaf, and hu mudaf ilayhi. should write his name where في هذه الورقة, in this page. So this is how you give command that everybody he should write. One more example. لتجلس. See again, لتجلس with فعل مضارع مجزوم. So it is a command. And again we're looking for the fa'il. كل طالبة. So every female student should sit where في مكانها, where her seat is. ليجلس كل طالب وليكتب. So now if you just bring حرف عطف. So again ليجلس, he should sit. Who should sit? كل طالب. Each one of students or every student should sit. وليكتب. وليكتب. See wow عطف, and because that lam amr changes into with the jazm, so it becomes وليكتب. And he should write. Every student should sit and he should write. That is how you translate. فلنخرج. So if you want to give a command in first person to all of us, say فلنخرج means we should go. We should go out. Or let us go out, or we should go out. لنقرأ. لنقرأ. So again لنقرأ with فعل مضارع مجزوم. That means we should read قليلا. Read what? قليلا. We should read little. ثم لننم. And then we should sleep. We should read little and we should sleep. So this is how you make with the harf atf. So what are the things that make a fa'al mudari' majzoom? So there are quite a few things what we have learned so far, and we're going to add few more things today inshallah and learn a very interesting concept today. So we know majzoom. Just now we learned that wal falli, which is lam or amr, it makes fa'al mudari' majzoom. And we know la, even la makes fa'al mudari' majzoom. So what type of la is it? So we know there are two types of la. So the la and na here makes fa'al mudari' majzoom. So let's bring some example to differentiate between la and nahiya and la and nafiya. So if we say لا تدخل سيارة الأجرة الجامعة. So every single vowel sign tells us the story of each word. So la is here harfu nafi. How do we know? Because the fa'al mudari' is in original marfu form. There's no change. So this is la nafiya. So it does not enter. So what does not enter? Sayyaratul ujrati. So dhamma tells us that is the fa'il for tadkhulu. So why tadkhulu? Because sayyaratu is mu'annath and wahuwa mudaf, al-ujrati is mudaf ilayhi. So it means taxi. Taxi does not enter al-jami'ata. Does not enter where? Al-jami'ata. So that is your maf'ulun bihi, you can say. So it does not enter the university. But that is your la and nafiya. If you want to change this into la nahiya, so if you want to la nahiya is tufidu amr. It is also a command in negation. So la nahiya is command in negation. So if you want to say la tadkhul, that it should not enter. Now we are doing command. We are not telling, but we are emphasizing and we are giving a command. La tadkhul. What should not enter? Sayyaratul ujrati al jamiyata. The taxi should not enter in the university. So this la, which makes fi'l mudari' majzoom, is la nahiya. So and this la nahiya is also tufidu amr. So if you want to give command in third person for in la nahiya, how do we do that? We say la yadkhul ahadukum. See, dakhala yadkhulu is to enter. La yadkhul means it should not enter. Who should not enter? No one should enter. Ahadu is your fa'il and kum is your mudaf ilayhi. No one should enter. Enter where? Al-fasla. So should enter the class fi athna'i darsi, during the lesson, in the middle of the lesson, you can say. La yadkhul ahadukum al-fasla fi athna'i darsa. So you're giving command to third person. No one should enter, not directed at the person in front of you. La yadrib. So he should not hit. Who should not hit? Ba'dukum. Some of you should not hit. Who? Ba'dan. That is maf'ulun bihi. So some of you should not hit some other people. That's what it means. So this is how you give la nahya negation, which makes your fa'al mudari' majzoom. So what is the other thing which makes fa'al mudari' majzoom? So that is a new concept here we're learning today. It's called al-jazmu bit-talabi. What does it mean? So we know fa'al amr and nahya, they both indicate a demand. So when you are telling somebody, when you're commanding somebody, so either you just tell something, or when you tell something, you expect something in return. So there is a demand and there is a consequence of that demand. So that is what it means. When there is a command which is expecting something in return, so that is called as your talab. That is called as a talab. And it could be either command in affirmation to do something, or it could be command in negation to not to do something. And if you do something, something will happen. If you don't do something, something will happen. So when you are expecting a consequence for your command, then that is called as a talab. And what happens is, the consequence as well becomes majzoom. Let's take an example to understand this. اقرأ مرة أخرى تفهمه. So how do we understand this? What is this اقرأ? Means is your fa'al amr, your command. So what are you commanding? So here, because you're expecting something out of command, so here we tell it as is a talab. There is something which you want. اقرأ مرة أخرى. So read it again. تفهمه. So why is this tafham majzoom? So this majzoom tells us that this is the consequence of that talab. That is called jawabu talab. So read another time. So what will happen if you read another time? Tafhamhu. You will understand it. Read it another time. So as a result of that, you will understand it. Tafhamhu. So this iqra is called talab, and tafham, this is called jawabu talab. So this is a statement you can make. This talab, jawabu talab, you can further emphasize it. They can bring a further emphasis to it to make it absolutely clear and crisp. So how do we do that? To do that, what do? Is we bring in. So even in, it makes a fa'al mudari' majzoom. So here we got fa'al amr majzoom, but when you use in, that makes a fa'al mudari' majzoom. Let's see what in is called. In is called harfu shartin jazimun tajzimu fi alayni. What does it mean? It is a particle of condition. Now you are putting a condition that only if this thing happens, then the consequence will happen. So we need to understand, we understood a little bit of conditional sentences in our last chapter. We talked about love. So let's talk about a little bit more about conditional sentence and see what are we looking in a conditional sentence. There are three things which you see in a conditional sentence. One is that there will always be adwat shart. That means a thing which is brought in to create a condition. Like for example, we used harf, which is law harf imtinai limtinai. Now we're learning about harf shart in. So there are two types of adwat, you can say. So one is adwat shart. Second is fa'al shart. So whenever we bring a particle or a noun of shart, so there will be always a fa'al shart. So So the thing which has to be done. And then what we'll have is your consequence, which is a jawabu shart. So these are the three parts of a conditional sentence where you have a particle or a noun. So adwatu shart. So as you said, there are two things. One is your harfu shart, for example, your love and in, which you're doing, and we have ismu shart, for example, like man and iza. So man and iza is your ismu shart. Again, they will have their effect on your fa'al mudari'. So some of them will have effect which will make it majzoom, and some of them will not make it majzoom. So we will learn it more about in your lesson number 15, just to give you a brief introduction here. So again, fa'al shart. So fa'al shart can be two types again here. So either it can be in madi or it could be in mudari'. So if it is in mudari', most of the time it will be majzoom. So we will learn each of the harf and each of the ism in detail, and we'll understand those. So but remember that conditional sentence, they will have a particle which will tell us what type of shart it is, and then we'll have a fa'al, we will know whether it is about talking about past, present or future, and then it will have a consequence of the condition. So if we want to bring the same example from talab and jawabu talab and emphasize it further. So if we said, we made a statement, اقرأ مرة أخرى تفهمه, read another time and you will understand it. But if you want to say emphasis with in, if you say in taqra, if you read it marratan ukhra again, tafhamhu, you will understand. So this is another emphatic way of emphasizing the same statement. So this is what we need to understand, that when a statement of talab and jawab talab is there, so if we want to emphasize it more, we can bring a harfu shart and change the whole sentence into a more, with a more emphasis. So iqra marratan ukhra tafhamhu. If you want to make it emphasize, you say in taqra. So here we'll make fail mudariya majzoom, whereas in first sentence it was fail amr. So there is a difference, a subtle difference, but it is very important to understand this. So that is your fa'al mudari' majzoom, and that is your jawab shart. So even though there is no particle here, but because it is being majzoom, so we will know that this is where the jawab shart is present, as the consequence of the condition. Let's bring some more example. In ta'kul ta'aman fasidan tamrad. So what is this? So you see, if you eat what? Ta'aman fasidan, spoiled food. If you eat spoiled food, what will happen? So we're looking for the fa'al mudari' majzoom, tamrad. Marida yamradu will be tamrad. You will fall sick. So we did use law. If you want to do it in the past tense, you say law akalta ta'aman fasidan la maritta. La maritta. So had you eaten this, you would have fallen sick. But you're telling, if you eat this, you say in ta'akul. So you bring fa'al mudari'. So you don't do fa'al madi, because it's talking about something in future. So in ta'akul ta'aman fasidan tamrad. So let's bring to understand one more ayah from the Quran. Say in tansurullaha yansurkum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. So again, if you see in, so fa'al mudari' majzoom, how do we know it is majzoom? Because Allah is talking about to all of us. He's in second person. He's talking directly. He says tansuruna. So when in comes, it will be tansuru. So be hazafi, noon is stopped. So if you help whom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yansurkum. Sorry. So yansur. So this is your jawab shart. So what will happen as a consequence? of that Allah will help you. Yansur, He will help you all. وَيُثَبِّتْ ثَبَّتَ يُثَبِّتُ Thabbit is to firm, make you firm feet. أَخْدَامَكُمْ, He will make you feet firm. So this is how we understand the condition and jawab condition, the consequence of that condition. So if you want to change this into a statement with talab and jawab or talab, so we know akala yakulu will be kul. Kul ta'aman fasidan tamrad. Then you say eat spoiling food, then you will fall sick. But if you say if in ta'kul ta'aman fasidan tamrad. So this is how the statement of talab and jawab talab, it will have a condition in it which we can use it to emphasize it more. So what we learned in this lesson is how to give command in third person using wal falli. So lamu amr and giving amr in negation using la nahiya. So again here we use la nahiya. And second thing what we learned is demand and consequence. So this is a talab and jawab talab. So whenever there is a demand and there is a expectation in return, which is a consequence of the demand, which is talab and jawab talab. And the third thing what we did was your conditional sentence. So we learned about what are the things, and we learned about in. So inshallah, this is just a brief introduction to what we are going to do in our next class. So inshallah, we're going to start lesson number 12 and do more exercises and understand these beautiful concepts. Until then, keep practicing. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.